Hey, Chad, I see you over there tending to your garden.
Oh, hey, neighbor Paul. I've just been growing some haunted pumpkins. Man, I hope they come in season. That's a normal thing the neighbors say.
Yeah.
Yo, guys, hey, my gardener friends.
Hello, hi.
I have important news.
Oh, is it the new gardening monthly? Is it out?
No, but I want to talk about that later. But I just came back from the realm of the web, the web realm.
What you got? What news you got from the web? This is 1998.
There's a great website called patreon.com/Goosebuds. It's my new favorite web realm.
It sounds safe and comfortable.
It's great. I donate money per episode of Goosebuds that comes out. I can also set a limit to how much I donate within a given month. So if they're like, we're going to put out 24 episodes this month, I don't get charged 24 times. I only get charged the maximum amount that I wanted to put up there. But anyway, I get a ton of rewards for donating to Goosebuds, and I love Goosebuds because I'm on it. And the rewards are great. I can hang out in a Discord with my friends, them being you two.
I heard sometimes people can see us hanging out and they can yell at us in chat form.
Yeah.
Yes, there's also a bonus episode I get to listen to every month.
That's pretty dope. I mean,
yeah, Chad, you were saying that you were gonna have the camp night that we were gonna do in your beautiful garden.
Yeah, we're gonna do the campfire. Though again, these pumpkins are haunted, so I don't know if we should do it in my yard, but we'll be fine.
Yeah, just go to patreon.com/Goosebuds and then donate whatever you want and become a patron today.
What's up, dudes?
Yeah.
I love your sound insulation, your double cell door.
I have to put Samson behind so many levels like Magneto where I just can't let any certain stuff get to him. He's in a plastic prison.
Speaking of double cell doors, I went and saw a few movies yesterday.
Oh yeah.
At a movie marathon. They do these, well, I guess they did one last year, so maybe it's an annual event at this point. But there's a newer theater that they're doing screenings at and comedy shows and stuff like that called Dynasty Typewriter. Have you heard of this?
Oh, yeah. I know, like Harmontown records there now, and there's like a bunch of improv shows I follow.
It's a really cool little theater, but they have the guys from Friday Night Frights, which is another group of people who put on horror movies shows in the area, and some other folks. They got together and did this 16 millimeter marathon last year, and they did another one yesterday, and I went, and it's a mystery. You don't know what they're gonna play, but they have a theme. Last time it was horror movie sequels, and this time it was just movies from the 90s, and they started with a movie I hadn't seen since I was a kid. And speaking of double cell doors, The People Under the Stairs. When's the last time you guys watched that movie?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I never saw it. At first I thought you were going to do a Cell reference.
Like The Cell.
The Cell, yeah, The Cell.
So you guys, neither of you guys have seen the film?
No.
Oh, wow.
I don't like stairs, Dom. I don't like movies about them. I don't like walking down them.
Yeah, I don't need to be more scared of stairs.
You would be surprised how many times the stairs come into play in this movie.
Yeah.
At least 3 or 4 times. Like, not just the people that are living under the stairs themselves, guys. It's one of Wes Craven's best movies, I think.
Okay.
I watched it a bunch as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually, before they played the movie, they played 2 trailers. They played a trailer for Urban Legends, and then they also played a trailer for Army of Darkness. And I was like, oh, yeah, they played a trailer for Army of Darkness because this is like a slapstick comedy almost. It's like, at points, the movie is really scary and really intense and horrifying, but it's very funny. But you said double cell doors, and, it's about this house that these characters break into to rob. I won't give too much away. If you haven't seen People Under the Stairs, I was kind of blown away at how good it was. I've watched it countless times as a kid, but as an adult, it's so good. So I have to
mean, that's
recommend
a
it.
huge spoiler for it, but like, are we talking about people living in the walls of the house? Because that's a trope I'm a big fan of.
Yes,
Okay.
people living in the walls. Oh, Chad, if you like that trope, you gotta see this movie. This is like the definitive people in the walls.
All right,
because
because that was like a thing for about a year where every horror movie that came out like recently was just it's someone actually in the house, like that bad horror movie The Boy about the little doll man.
Oh yes,
I don't know this movie, but now
Lauren Cohen from Walking Dead, who a show I don't even watch. I know who she is. Is like a babysitter she's a housekeeper, and these old folks are like, we have no children, but we do have a little doll, the boy, whatever his name is. They call him the boy. And he must be tucked in, and he must be fed, and all of these things. And she's like, this is some weird, freaky, deaky shit. But it seems like the boy's starting to move around the house. The doll is haunted, Paul.
But it was a movie. It was a movie made after Annabelle, the first Annabelle. movie,
yeah,
right?
totally.
And that's about the real doll that is really haunted that really exists in Florida.
Yes, because all those things were completely real, and that family was definitely not fraudsters.
No.
They didn't do it to profit or anything.
No, I'm looking at the pictures of the boy from The Boy, the movie.
Yeah,
and he looks remarkably like, I don't know if you guys have seen it, Teddy Perkins from Atlanta. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Is that the Donald Glover whiteface character?
Yes, it's a Donald Glover's whiteface character, and he looks exactly like the doll from The Boy.
That might have been inspired, but I think that was I mean, spoilers for The Boy. I think you just find out that the doll's not haunted. The reason it's moving around is because the real son lives in the walls and moves them around and shit.
And moves the doll around. Okay.
Yeah. Which is,
but can I tell you guys the rest of the movies that were on this?
Yes,
there were 6 movies in total.
No, this is a very straight line conversation before Goosebuddies.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to talk. I heard you guys were talking, and it reminded me how fun talking is.
Talking's
so
great,
I just wanted to talk again. The other movies that were on this mystery 16mm marathon were Mimic. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Well, Mimic came third, but have you seen Guardian? The Guardian, William Friedkin's film?
No.
Oh man, it's a fun time. We watched that, and then we watched Mimic, which I had never seen, but I realized how influential it was to Resident Evil 3.
The game or the movie?
The video game. It's about bugs.
Dom, you're just saying so many things that I have never experienced.
Are you talking about Guillermo's Mimic movie, or is there another Mimic?
Was it Guillermo del Toro? Did he do the first Mimic?
Guillermo did the Mimic that was in the 90s. So if it was a 90s horror movie, I think that's his mainstream attempt movie. I never saw it, but
first mainstream. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. I didn't really enjoy it. And then they played, oh my God, the 4th movie. Both of you need to see this movie. Paul, maybe you should just fly out here next weekend and we could all watch it together.
Get out here, Paul.
The movie is called Ghost in the Machine.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
No.
Is it an anime we're talking about?
No, not Ghost in the Shell.
Okay.
Ghost in the Machine. Similar. I'll just give you what happens. A serial killer is in a car accident, and while they're doing the CAT scan on him, there's like an electrical surge.
Classic.
And
oh my God.
So he's being scanned, and he gets scanned into DataNet.
Oh.
And he's basically, traveling through computers and also electrical sockets.
So he's like Lawnmower Man a little bit, like that kind of thing?
Yes. There's some computer graphics. There's a great sequence where 2 kids, actually the kid from People Under the Stairs is in it, and then a kid who's not Macaulay Culkin, but maybe a little cooler than him.
Whoa!
I mean, you're talking about Kieran Culkin then. If we're talking about a cooler Culkin.
The cooler Culkin is, yes, you're right.
But there's a great scene where they're in virtual reality. you have to see that part.
Oh, it stars the
and-
bad boy from Twin Peaks, the one bad boy. Not bad boy, the bad man, the older bad man. What's his name?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the dad, I guess.
And gosh, another person from Twin Peaks is in The Guardian, one of the FBI guys, David Lynch's partner. But anyway, so you have to see Ghost in the Machine. Everyone listening, go see Ghost in the Machine. And then the last two movies were Candyman and Halloween H2O, which I unfortunately did not get to stay for. I was
Dom,
too
did you
tired.
sit through like 4 or 5 movies? Like,
yeah, I was gonna say that's insane. That's an insane number of movies.
Yeah, I watched 4 movies. I ate an edible and a half, had a margarita, had 2 beers. It was good.
Wow,
that's
you were
a
just
full
sitting.
day.
Yeah, people were talking behind me. I had to tell them to be quiet.
Nice.
And then it was a couple, and the girl of the couple who answered the phone in the middle of The Guardian. Towards the climax of The Guardian, where all this loud shit is happening, and I hear her in my ear talking over the movie so that she could talk on the phone. So I told them, I said, I turned around in the middle of the third movie and I said, "You're being loud." And then they like quieted up, and then I heard the woman talking. She was like, "I want to hit that guy."
You're being loud is about the tamest, nicest way to say, "Can you like?" You're not even saying, "Can you shut up?"
You're just alerting to them. It's like maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you thought you were being quiet, but I'm letting you know you are being loud.
You're maybe even giving permission to talk on the phone, but in a quieter voice, which is not what you're doing. People should never talk on the phone in movies, but like that's
never. Yeah,
Dom, don't get killed.
No one killed me, thankfully.
That's the crazy thing is that someone was being an asshole, and you called them out. You politely, or you let them know they were being an asshole, and let them potentially change their ways. And her reaction was, "I want to hit that guy."
Yeah, I want to hit that guy is what she told her boyfriend. And I could tell that her boyfriend did not want to encourage that because I am 6'1" and I weigh 200 pounds. And I recently realized that is actually kind of some
You've been doing some curl-ups every day. You've been training for your fight.
Curling.
I've been doing pull-ups 5 times a week, every weekday for a year now. And you just don't get that good of, like, you know how it is when someone takes a picture of you and you look at it and you're like, that's what I look like.
Yeah.
That happened to me recently and I was like, wow, I guess I've been doing pull-ups.
You needed to see the fear you could instill inside of another man, and you saw that day.
Yes, but the thing is I'm Dommy Pillows, baby.
You're a soft boy.
I'm saying? I'm not trying to fight. I've never been in a fight in my life, and I hope to never be.
But when you get Dom angry, you're gonna regret it.
Listen, Dom's just a Cape Cuck, but a Cape Cuck can go crazy.
Oh my god!
Cape Cuck was something Chad was called as he had Avengers spoiled to him. Oh, but real quick before we transition into anything else, I did the point of me telling you about all these movies I saw yesterday is that one of the guys who put on the show was the writer of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Oh, I'm sorry?
Yeah, Josh. Well, you can find him on IMDb.
Hey everybody, Kevin here. Wikipedia says the Sonic the Hedgehog movie screenplay was written by Patrick Casey, Josh Miller, and Oren Uziel. Sorry if I said any of those wrong. Back to the thing. Bye.
What movie was the one you saw that had the Sonic the Hedgehog movie writer?
What's that?
So which movie had the Sonic the Hedgehog writer on it?
Oh, I'm sorry. One of the people who put on the event, one of the guys from Friday Night Frights, he wrote the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Wow, okay. I thought what Chad thought, and I was like, wow, that guy who wrote this new upcoming movie has been working for a long ass time.
He wrote Mimic. No. Holy shit, that guy's been in the trenches.
No. He's just a guy who puts on.
That guy worked with Guillermo. He's the 90s me, says Chad.
Stop it. Stop Mandelaing this. I like that. I'm just going to use that term for like mixing up the history or muddling things.
Use that term for whenever things aren't working out the way you want them to work out. Stop Mandelaing me.
Stop Mandelaing my point.
How about you use it when you like liberate Africa and it's a Nelson Mandela?
That's reclaiming the Mandela. That's Mandela-ing Mandela effect.
That was the original Mandela. Yeah, guys, I got called a Cape Cuck because I was just trying to read news stories, and someone.
Yeah, you were reading a story about Qatar. Okay, so tell us what happened. Just tell us.
I mean, it's just like this is the new level of like internet terrorism. Is that you can just systems where like you can have a comment. I'm just reading Qatar, right? I'm just trying to learn about
I'm sorry. This is not new. This is not a new form of terrorists.
No, this new
terrorism.
strategy.
This has been happening since Harry Potter.
It has. I do want to know how Chad was fooled by the comment.
That's what I mean is new, is that like I had already gone into like I deleted social media off my phone. I put a bunch of like I don't want to see any posts that even say Avengers, all that stuff. Like I'm being pretty safe. And
you were media blacked out, yeah.
I was trying to. I know there's still, you always run the risk. The internet's the internet. I'm just trying to read this like article in like World Politics, which is a terrible subreddit anyway, about Qatar. This kid who like died in Qatar was a protester, and then the top comment was clearly about an argument about Islam at some point. And then
so you're trying to figure out what someone thinks about this world geopolitical issue.
I'm trying to increase my knowledge of the world.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm trying to do that by reading internet comments, but I'm trying to do that.
You're really into the everyman's thoughts. That's all. You just want to hear what the everyman has to say.
Yeah, I guess. Like, and then this internet troll like just took his top comment and then edited it so it was still at the top comment, but it became just all of the stuff that happens in Avengers Endgame.
That's a lot of work because he had to write a comment that became the top comment.
Yeah,
like he had to make the effort.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think it's that hard to engineer like a comment that people on the internet will respond to in terms of that, like, you know, inflaming or whatever. But yeah, it was it was not fun. I was called a Cape Cuck for liking, quote, Disney family movies. So that person's miserable and alone and doesn't enjoy fun things. So they're the real loss.
Whenever people are talking about something, I always think to myself, why aren't they talking about me?
Why whenever Poochie's not on screen, all the characters should be asking, where is Poochie and why are they not talking about it?
Yes.
Except, you know, the weird part is like, so that really bummed me out for a couple days. And then I realized, like, you know, most of the stories you can usually tell the ending. It's about like the journey, not the destination, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And Dom, you hit a nerve in the right way with me of the thing that ruined Endgame in any way for me when I saw it last night was it's this type of moviegoer that is, I acknowledge I see a reference or an Easter egg and I need to out loud go, oh, that's so-and-so. Like I don't care.
Right.
I don't care that you recognize that's the director in a cameo. Like, you recognize the director of the biggest movie of all time in his own movie. You're not in trivia club. Like, it's not that kind of thing.
Chad, when Poochie recognizes somebody in a movie, Poochie needs to let everyone know, and Poochie needs to be the center of attention.
Wait, so did this happen last night? You were watching the movie and somebody in the audience was like...
14-year-old kid who should know better with this just kept going like, whoa, no way. Oh, that's... I mean, I would say examples, but that's spoilers for the movie. Like,
sure.
It's like they want... I don't think it's like awkwardness or big kid not being awkward. It's like I want everyone around me to know that I know that thing.
It's a little superiority, Chad. It's like you need to do it to prove that you're better than everybody else who's watching this movie because you're like, oh, I know everything. I know all the stuff from this movie.
Well, I wonder if it's more. I think most media, like, that is a huge part of Marvel movies is Easter eggs. It's something they've trained people to look for.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, just even the post-credit sequence, when people are like, there's post-credit, the first post-credit sequence, it was like, wow, did you stay to the end? Like, it's something I found because I was waiting.
Right.
I was looking. So, like, I mean, there's a whole culture about that, about these films. Also, if you said the kid was 14,
he was 14. That's okay. That's a little different.
He's a kid. That's
no, what? I was never like that as a 14-year-old. I wasn't yelling out to him.
If you were trained this way, as if there were all these Marvel movies coming out, and you grew up on them at this point. I mean, when did Iron Man come out? 11 years ago.
10 years ago. Yeah,
10 years ago. So, I mean, you know, you're kind of like, if you grew up on these, you're kind of being trained to point all this stuff out. And if you're a little kid, you know, you get excited about it. So, I mean, I'm not excusing it, but I'm kind of understanding.
I think there's a difference between like, I'm excited, or I react, or I gasp at a thing because I realize what that means. I remember gasping in Civil War when the Shield agent says Stephen Strange for the first time. I was like, oh, dope, they're gonna do that. But I didn't go out loud, Stephen Strange, he's the Sorcerer Supreme, and like that's what people are doing in movies now out here in LA. Maybe I have bad timing.
Wait, so give us another example. What happened?
I really can't without spoiling Endgame for people. It was just but it wasn't like even.
Chad, I really think you should use the hype names of superheroes and scream them out in theaters, because I think you'd be really good at it.
Oh, just yell, he's the Sorcerer Supreme?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The Sorcerer Supreme.
I love you using the tagline names of superheroes and throwing them out in the middle of a movie. I think that would be a really good role for you as a moviegoer.
I just like some sort of like, I gotta impress other people in the crowd, and I've had it. I've had enough. It's a popular movie. We all know these things.
It's interesting though, because going to see these movies now, I was never a huge comics fan growing up. I liked them, but I've gotten into them over the years. It's fun. It's enjoyable to go to, and I've always gone to like the tentpole ones, like the Avengers ones.
Yeah,
they're big fun experiences. But I saw Infinity War, and I really love that movie. I think that's actually a great movie. It's like really, really well made. So I was very excited to see this one, and I have been pretty pumped about how movies have been lately, especially since Lord of the Rings. I feel like it's when this really started, but like the event of everybody going and everybody cheering, I actually really like that. I don't know.
Well, it is arguable that at the very same time, because I believe they opened the same weekend, was Harry Potter.
Yeah. And that was right. That was also I went to some Harry Potter the early ones, like the first two probably in the theater, and I don't remember there being a lot of cheering, but maybe I was just in like a weird crowd or something like that, or maybe I just don't recall it.
I only remember it for when Molly Weasley says, "Get away from her, you bitch!" Like people in my theater are like losing their shit. And again, I think that's important. I also don't need to cheer out and clap. I think that's totally cool if you want to, if you're really feeling it. There's something special about opening weekends, like. The Fast and the Furious movies, as dumb as they are, have amazing opening weekends because everyone is so fucking hyped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and
that's a crowd I could get into. I would prefer to be opening weekend Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I get that. It's really like moments that are quiet, or just like it's just other stuff is happening, but because you recognize an actor or there's a visual in the background, it's you know what it is. It's like the end of Infinity War. And this may not be the best example, but this one would drive me crazy. There was someone in Infinity War doing the same thing. They've been gotten kind of quiet near the end because enough crazy shit had happened. And then the post-credits tease happened with like Nick Fury
with the beeper.
And everyone dusting away. And Nick Fury goes like, motherfucker. And he doesn't say motherfucker. You get it? Because it's Samuel Jackson. And then, and the pager drops, and it's like Captain Marvel's icon gets on, and immediately someone yelled, went, Hawkeye! And I'm like, no, it's not Hawkeye! Like, not only did you not need to do that, like, you're wrong. It drives me crazy.
I respect that level of confident incompetence.
I mean, you can't hate if they're that excited about it. It's like, no, Hawkeye's icon is not a Christmas sweater. Like, it's not, whatever.
Welcome to Goosebuds.
Welcome to Goosebuds. I feel like going from Endgame last night to this book was such a stark relief in terms of tension and things that happened.
I would say Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, which is what we read, which was voted on by our patrons, because we've been doing polls to decide which book we read next.
We have let the listeners take the wheel of this show,
and they finally chose the next book in the series where we left off, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes.
Yeah. It's about as exciting as the name sounds that it's going to be.
No, I would say it's not as exciting because it's Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. What revenge are they getting? Not on the people that instilled this on them.
No,
anyway,
you're right.
I would say this is the most by numbers Goosebumps book we've read in a minute.
Yes. One chapter got interesting. There was okay, getting kind of weird and dark, and then nothing else.
Yeah, there was a moment where you thought it was going to go into some sort of commentary, or there was some lore. There might be a little bit of lore. Maybe he's really digging into like gnomish lore. Nah, he just then he just takes a quick right turn back into his bullshit.
I have to say, I have to like just make you guys aware of this because perhaps this is also happening to you. the repetitiveness of the Goosebumps books
Mhm.
are channeling a real darkness in me. I read the first chapter, and the first chapter, you're introduced to Mindy and Joe, brother and sister.
Yeah.
It's summer break, and it's a whole chapter of them being shitty to each other.
He loves slamming his ball in her face. He loves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was some poor choice of words. That should have been edited.
There was that, and then there was also a lot of talk of him looking at melons and dreaming about melons in this as
Yes.
well, which I thought was another funny thing.
We'll get into melon talk, but after the first chapter, I was immediately like, God, I wish this was a Hellraiser movie or a Saw movie.
I wish that I could stick with this, knowing that horrible things were coming into these children's lives.
I wish the next chapter is the beginning of them being tormented for the rest of this book.
If a man with blades in his head could show up and just rip these children apart, that would make me happy.
Yes, the Cenobites.
I wish a demon could.
Xenobites? Whatever
Cenobites, yeah.
Cenobites.
I wish that a demon could live off of the painful energy that these kids would exude for eternity.
Yes.
Real quick. We're speaking about R.L. Stein's things that he likes to do, and I think I found a little pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Is he loves siblings, and he loves shitty kids, as you said, Dom. He loves two kinds of shitty kids. He loves the nebbish child who is picked on, and he loves the class clown who is the picker, that likes to pick on that kid. And typically he likes to make a pair of siblings that one is one and one is the other, and he picks one of them and sticks with them. And this time we are in the perspective of the picker, the kid that likes to be the asshole and make jokes. He seems to almost leapfrog between those two roles between books.
I agree with that. I was trying to think about like how Mindy is the whole time in the book is a way more likable character, at least for me.
She's kind of a classic Goosebumps character. She's more RL, right? Because she's organized and she's nerdy and bookish.
Yeah, and it somehow made more sense thematically of a character who hates to see stuff messed up and wrong.
Yeah,
to rival as opposed to just I don't know what the boy's personality was, but whatever.
Mm.
Like I want to read a Goosebumps story where like someone like Mindy, who's got their shit together and isn't the worst, is trying to deal with it. And maybe those exist, but I can't think of one. Like
I think we've read at least one that was like that.
I guess,
but I can't. This book was just such a trouble.
This kid fucking
that
sucks. This stupid kid sucks so much.
There were some things that I liked about the book, early on, especially.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the plot and tell us, Paul. Go ahead.
Okay.
Start
Well,
it off.
I liked it. I liked what I liked about this book, and maybe I'm feeling a little nostalgic because I also saw Endgame last night, and I'm feeling a little I'm looking back upon the last decade. But I also I was reading this book, and I think what this book does, I think the story of this book is bad, but I actually think that the actual writing, the prose, was actually pretty good in this book. There were some sentences that I was like, that was a nicely constructed sentence. That was some good imagery there. And I think he does a really good job of capturing the idyllic nature of summer in this book. There's a lot of really good summer stuff, and it felt it felt like I was back in grade school in summer, and it was kind of nice, and I liked that. But
I got that same feeling, Paul, and one of my favorite, and I wrote this down. I love summer morning fog that burns off before the afternoon begins. That is just such a romantic image for me, and also just hot June days. I love that stuff, and just summer vacation. I mean, of course, it's nostalgic for everyone, but it really I have to agree with you.
Can I agree with everything you're saying? Can I just point out that this is what Goosebumps has done to us? Is we're just like, I like that the sentences were written well. Like
I like that it's summer.
I like that like we're looking for anything, and it's fine. This is what this podcast is.
You have to glob on to whatever good thing you can in one of these books, especially one like this.
I like that there was a dog because I like dogs.
Dog's fun. Doggy fun.
Well, why don't you lead us into that, Paul. The dog Buster of this family is very important to the story.
Buster's a big old boy, and he likes to get into trouble in the backyard because our main character's dad and their neighbor's father, Moose, who was their friend, his father, are both gardeners. They're both really...
Who Mindy thinks is disgusting. She straight up just says, you're disgusting.
Very fair, though. Very fair.
He seems like a Donkey Lips, so I'm going to agree. He's definitely a Donkey Lips type character.
That kid eats some of his own body fluids, for sure.
Donkey Lips is a character from the show Salute Your Shorts, if you haven't seen it.
And this is a 100%...
That's me. That was me doing the Avengers thing. Donkey Lips, the master of lips.
So yeah, they're playing ping pong and they're hanging out. It's summer vacation, and Buster the dog is missing. And they look outside, and he's in the neighbor's garden again, like he always does, digging up their backyard. They have to run out and they have to yell at him. And that's pretty much the first couple chapters are them dealing with this dog constantly going into the backyard. And I'm with them. It sucks to make your dog have to be on a leash. Yeah, I feel bad for him too. But when your dog's being a dickhead, it's your responsibility to take care of it. And that's the one thing I get really annoyed about with dog owners. Sometimes they're just like, I can't control it. Yes, you can. It's your fucking animal.
Well, now we live in a world where people are like, oh, I'm just going to bring my dog into the store. It's not trained whatsoever.
No. Right.
People are like, I can bring my dog to the store now. And there was a dog in a store recently, in a thrift store, and the dog should not have been in the store. It was large. It was not trained. And somebody made a comment to the person and then saying that dog should not be in the store. And then the woman continued to take the dog around the store while she was speaking about the other woman who confronted her, out loud, being like, fuck you, I could take my dog anywhere, my fucking dog. You're such a good dog.
Guys, I think people as a society are breaking. I think we're
absolutely
a little bit, not entirely. We're just transitioning into a weirder world.
Did the woman whisper under her breath, I want to hit her?
She said, I wish she was in a Saw movie right now.
That dog is in the store and he is ringing up purchases he's not verified to buy. That is an over 18 movie. Get this dog out of the store. Dude, there are people now, I'll go into the coffee shop with little Archie the dog, and I tie him up outside. He's very comfortable. He's covered in the shade. He has to wait outside because that's what dogs are supposed to do. Dogs are not allowed.
Yes.
And then people, while I'm waiting for my coffee, will be like, you really should bring him in. You really should bring him inside. He looks miserable. I'm like, he's fine. He's not supposed to come in here. They're scolding me.
I feel like when I was reading this book and I was reading about it and they were talking about the dog and he talked about his doghouse, I was like, there was a time where we were like, dogs, not for inside. And we kept them outside because they were animals. And now we are like, they can come and hang out in the house.
Well,
some of them, okay.
Yeah, going on what you're saying, Paul, there's an annoying thing where clearly there's a recurring problem with Buster, right? The dog's name is Buster.
Buster, yeah, he is a buster. He's a total buster.
He's a total buster, as Vin Diesel would say in Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
That if you have this dog, build a fucking fence. He has been put on a rope. Putting him on a rope is kind of cruel if you're not going to take the time to I don't know, put up anything to protect your dog at other people's house. You guys are responsible owners.
And you know what? I'll stick up for the dog owners here for a second. If the dog is getting into your garden, put up a fence around your garden, Mr. Moose, whatever your last name was. I can't remember.
McHale, Mr. McHale.
Mr. McHale.
Moose McHale is the kid.
Or Mr. McCall, I guess it was. But Buster's getting into the vegetable garden. He's getting into Mr. McCall's prized vegetables, and he's eating them, and it's a problem.
And the most cliche story plot, I just want to point out, I feel like this is the most 90s thing that's probably not a story anymore, is gardeners versus gardeners.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like a mixture of dogs getting into places they shouldn't and gardeners have already appeared in a Goosebump book. I can't remember which one.
Oh, I'm sure.
But some amalgamation of what's happening,
the
crux of the story, has happened across Goosebumps.
Definitely. I feel like maybe the bees one, maybe a
definitely.
Maybe.
That's what came to mind. But stay out of the basement maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Monster Blood.
Oh,
the dog is such a big part of that. My Harriest Adventure or whatever.
The dads have I'd say more, even as cliche as it is, the rival dad gardeners and they're like exotic melons that they're growing, and the story of the tomatoes that won first prize is more interesting than what the kids are doing.
Yes, I actually, again, feeling nostalgic, I kind of like the little, like, the nerdy dads fighting it out. They were, and like, I like a Goosebumps when they show you the parents, and like, you kind of understand that this dad's a goofball, and I kind of get why the problems arise later in him believing his children. Because one, the children, or the child that he's dealing with, is a total dick and lies and jokes all the time. So why would you listen to him? So it makes it more believable.
Yeah, I would never trust my own kids.
So you're telling me you like your Goosebumps with the little goofballs?
Right? I like a little goofball Goosebumps, yeah. A Goofbumps, if you will.
One thing that I wrote down that I had to talk about that is such a pet peeve for me, and it involves pets, is when people talk to their dogs.
Yeah.
There's a moment where Joe is talking to Buster. Like Buster has been, you know, getting into places he shouldn't. Everyone's upset at Buster, and Joe says, "You have to stop going into the gardens. Like you can't do that anymore." And it bothers me to no end because dogs cannot understand what you are saying. People talk to their dogs all the time. People have full-on conversations with their dogs, and some of it is just cute, like, "Oh, you're such a cute little doggy."
That's
whatever,
great.
Whatever.
Do that.
That's fine. That's great. When people are like talking to their dog, they're like, "Why do you keep going into the kitchen? You're not allowed in there." Like,
in a happy voice too. It's not even like at all the dog to interpret that that's a bad thing. Yeah.
Right. There's no tone that's being imparted upon them. It's just words being
Caesar Milan would have words with this boy on how he's training Buster. Yeah.
Yes,
let me just remind all dog owners out there, if a dog is tied up and it wraps itself around a tree, it cannot get itself unwrapped. It cannot figure that out. It cannot problem solve. That's how stupid dogs are. So you cannot have a conversation with your dog.
It also added some stakes in this movie to me where I got not this movie, Jesus, this book.
Wish it was a movie. Wish it was a Saw movie.
But I say the biggest stakes of all of this until, you know, the final like chapter or so is that if Buster is caught destroying the lawn one more time, Buster's going to die. Like Mr. McCall has made it very clear he's going to take him to the pound or, quote, turn him into mulch.
Yes, it is.
Kill the dog.
Yes, death is the sort of Damocles hanging over Buster's head this entire story.
So I'm really frustrated the whole time when they're not doing anything to restrain this fucking pooch or like help their case at all. You're just gonna, even when the lawn gnomes are starting to cause chaos, like the dog's life is on the line.
There's not a lot of forethought. They're like, if he and the kids truly believe that their neighbor will murder this dog if he ends up in the garden again, and they are like, "Oh God, where's Buster? He'll get killed if he does that again." And then they find him in the garden. I'm like, "You freaking idiots! Should have thought ahead. Your dog's life is on the line."
Yeah, he's an army man. He's probably got a gun.
He's oh yeah, he definitely has a gun. He was in the army.
And about this time, he was probably in Vietnam. Probably has a machete.
Oh
shit! He
probably
got really good at chopping down jungle branches.
Chopping down dogs in the jungle.
Okay, I actually would have loved if there had been a reveal at one point where it looks like the kids are trapped and the lawn gnomes are going to kill them. And Mr. McCall comes out of like a grass spider hole he had built into the lawn. Like he's just the dad from the Burbs, and he's
in a ghillie suit.
He has a punji pit he hides inside the backyard.
He's like, I want to decide to keep an eye on my fucking tomatoes. Boy, I'm glad I did. Charlie's everywhere, and he just loses his shit. I would love this book.
That would have been a great chapter ending if a fucking wood monster came out of the ground.
That would be a mulch monster.
A mulch monster, yes.
Of old dead the souls of dead dogs. If it was war times and I had to choose my equipment, like I was going into the equipment room to gear up to go into the war, I would choose ghillie suit and throwing machetes. I would just lay down on the ground until people came up, and then I would stand and throw my machete.
Wait, so you don't even lay on the ground and use it to your advantage? You get up and throw it.
Yeah, well, you have to reveal yourself, the element of surprise. And then people are like, "What the fuck? That's not a bullet. That is a whole ass machete coming at me."
My equipment choice would be a bag of dirt and trick grenades, and I would cover myself.
What does that mean?
I would cover myself in dirt, look like a mountain of dirt, and then my grenades would look like rocks, and I would place them all around me in a circle where they was too far out for it to hurt me. And then when enemies would come in, they would get blown up by my trick grenades, and I would run away.
Okay,
Wow.
I like that. Mine would be some sort of Frankenstein suit, and then like a pot and pan. And what I do is I just pick a part of the forest that we're fighting over, and I convince the local combatants that there's a ghost or a monster.
Oh, I love that psychological warfare.
Yeah,
I love
and he's
that.
like, "Don't come in here. There's a ghost, man." I just hit pots and pans and scare him away.
You know, Chad, the old Scooby-Doo tactics work.
Yes.
Nobody uses them anymore,
No
but
one
they
uses them anymore.
work.
The problem was they became cliche in the 70s, 80s, but people forgot about them.
Have you guys not seen the Ken Burns documentary about the Vietnam Old Man Crothers platoon that like would just use monster masks and spooky sounds?
Yeah, the Vietnam Crypto Squad, they call them.
Yeah, the crypt keepers.
The Crypt Keepers.
We should play Future War more often, guys. What's your loadout? I'm taking dirt clods and knives. But if you know where the story is going if you're listening and you did not read this book. You know, Dad gets some lawn gnomes from the Lovely Gardens, I believe the place is called. It's a garden store.
I think it's Lovely Lawns, I believe is the
Yeah,
Lovely
it sounded like a
Lawns.
weed
That makes much
dispensary
more
to me,
sense.
but maybe that's just LA rubbing off.
I think a little bit.
Yeah.
The Green Cross.
Yes. Oh, I want to bring something up about Lovely Lawn. Lawn Lovely. That's what it's called. Lawn Lovely. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he talks about all the lawn ornaments that they have on their front yard when they're going over to Lawn Lovely. And do you remember there was an era in the late 90s, early 2000s where everybody had the orb ball on their front lawn? Do you remember
they
those?
referenced it. Those were fancy folks for me. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
They still have them out here.
Do they
in
still
LA.
have them in LA?
You'll see lawn orbs.
I don't think I go out into the suburbs enough to see these things. I don't see enough front lawns. I forgot about lawn orbs until I read about that.
You don't do a weekend trip to go see the lawn orbs with like your loved one and just go the good lawn orbs this year.
To go stand around it like Trump did with the Saudi Arabians and praise it. Praise the orb. Praise the orb.
Do you guys remember when people would put those like wood cut out like timeout children in their lawn? Like the children would be like, they look like they're looking or punished into a corner because they're in timeout.
Is that what those were supposed to be? They were in timeout? Okay.
Yeah, they were in timeout. But then like they would get weird and sometimes they would be like naked. Like they were fucking strange. I did not like that.
Yeah, you know what? I remember we used to go to Amish country, which is the center of Pennsylvania when I was younger. Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And we would go to like the Amish stores and they would have punishment devices because the Amish love to punish children. And there would be a lot of naked butts on them. You're right, Chad. Or Dom, you're right.
I was also right. Without saying anything, I was also right.
Chad was also right.
Chad, you were always right. So that just had to come out.
No, the decorations themselves, I actually think if I was judging a garden, the decorations would hurt the judging if there's just like, because they say the dad is just picking everything. He's got no cohesive theme.
No theme.
You got flamingos. You got a big, more minimalistic orb. There's
you got a deer.
I guess his theme could be animals praising orb. Maybe that's his theme.
Yeah, orb servants.
If you have a garden and you arrange your lawn gnomes to be worshiping a totem, you have the best lawn.
That's cool.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. But if you have like some kind of like Stonehenge, not Stonehenge, but some kind of other ritual structure, great. I really enjoy your
I like
garden.
a good cairn. Yeah, a good cairn of stones.
I do enjoy a good cairn. But so the family goes to Lovely Lawns or Lawn Lovely and they get some new lawn gnomes and
they name them.
Lo and behold, the lawn gnomes are in fact coming to life and defacing McCall's garden.
Yes.
I think also to point out, not to interrupt John, this is an important detail to point out that origin is that, of course, these lawn gnomes were hand carved from Europe because Europe is the spooky continent.
That's where magic comes from. So this happens. I don't even really think it's worth talking about how much this happens. Let's just cut right to the chase, where finally Joe is confronting the lawn gnomes, and they reveal themselves. They say, "Yes, we've been doing mischief. We are mischief elves."
Yeah, they're not gnomes. So they
Hold on.
they were
Hold on.
racist.
Tires screeching, hitting the brakes. Fantasy check. Elves, gnomes, two different things.
I thought he was making some commentary. Thought the gnomes might actually be elves. People were being racist. That's what I thought.
Well, can I point out just I know the middle part of the story is just stuff happening to the garden and no one believing the kid, and he sees
and that's where all the good melon talk happens.
There's a lot of good melon talk, but I think there's something about the order of it that is strange.
Are you guys making a U-turn to get back to melon talk?
Yeah, I want to look at these melons a little bit. It's that, like, if the order of the pranks is roughly like mostly stuff happening to McCall's evil neighbor lawn first.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, they smashed one of the melons, and the boy sees the melon seed and like the gnome's teeth. I think it's not super exciting, but it's at least like basic Goosebumps horror of like, oh, this is like Slappy that doesn't move when you're looking at him. Like, that could be good if it was done better. Of like,
I was gonna say, would you guys classify this type of horror as doll horror? I think this is a subset of doll horror.
I would have until the end. Yeah, it definitely was doll horror, at least for most of it.
It's definitely the main trope of doll horror where things happen and doll is still in the same spot. But wait, he's smiling now?
Now he's smiling.
Yeah, no.
He's sure. Like, there's a couple shots where if you had shot it in, like, if you had a really good director, you could actually make the boy swearing he sees two figures moving in the grass at night. Like, that could be scary if it was done better. It could totally be scary. I just want to call attention to, before they can fully confront, like, I thought they were doing something really interesting of, oh, this guy bought these lawn gnomes. The dad bought the lawn gnomes to, like, make their garden better. And what are they doing? They're destroying their neighbor's yard. Like, they are, whether they meant to or not, more of a be careful what you wish for. We've got him these tiny little protectors that'll destroy our enemies. Like, that kind of thing.
Which I feel like if you were buying things for your yard and you bought gnomes, it kind of seems like thematically that's what you'd be doing, right?
Yeah,
Wouldn't they be kind of protectors? Like,
yeah,
they're kind of like sentries you're placing out there.
I thought that was an interesting idea, especially because it almost be a little bit of like, this family has done it to themselves. Not really, but then it just becomes, oh, now they're splashing paint on cars and on the boy's own house. They're just destroying everything. I guess they have to.
They do, and so Dom, you got to the point where he does confront the gnomes, Hap and Chip. And that's their names. One is Happy, and they name him Hap, and one has a chip on him, so they call him Chip. And they reveal, like you said, Dom, that they're mischief elves. And I actually found this part of the book to be very funny, because they're having a conversation with the mischief elves, and they're just doing more mischief, like, compulsively while talking to him. One of them breaks off a piece of sidewalk and sticks it into a mailbox. Just compulsively while talking to them. Kind of a funny moment.
No, it's also, I thought about that exact moment. I wrote it down too, because it's not even that good mischief. It's like they couldn't help themselves, and someone in the morning will go, "Oh, there's a rock in my mailbox." All right,
okay,
that'll be it.
They went from defacing a car with paint to leaving a rock in a mailbox.
Yes.
But what's unfortunate about, by the time you get to this, in my opinion, as somebody who's read so many of these books at this point, it's chapter 20 and it finally starts happening.
Yeah.
And you're just like, God, wow, could we have gotten here sooner?
No, it could have started sooner for sure.
But anyway, they reveal themselves as mischief elves, and they say, hey, feel bad for us. We've been cursed. We have to be these lawn gnomes. And we need to free the other mischief elves from Lawn Lovely.
Yeah, can I read this the excerpt they have? I think is
please, yes.
I wrote this part down because I thought this was like nuts. So after like Chip and Hap are like, we don't want to kill you, just please listen to us, please believe. This is their origin. Listen and believe, Hap echoed, which is kind of cool.
They had a cool refrain that they were saying.
All right, so we lived in a land far from here, Chip began, in a forest deep and green. We guarded the mines and protected the trees. We performed our mischief innocently. We also did a lot of good. We were hardworking people, Hap told us, scratching his head, and we were happy in our forest home. But then the mines were closed and the forests were cut down. We were captured, kidnapped, and taken far from home. We were shipped to your country and forced to work as lawn ornaments. Slaves, Hap said, shaking his head sadly, forced to stand all day and night. That's impossible, Mindy cried. Don't you get bored? Chip explains, we go into a trance. Time passes without our realizing it. We come out of the trance at night and go about doing our job.
That is cool, because at one, in the Industrial Revolution ruined their livelihood, which I love.
Yeah.
I love that. And two, it's cool that they're trapped in like this quote unquote like hellish haze of waking up and having to just do mischief. I think that's also kind of fun.
Yeah, it was it makes no fucking sense, but it's more interesting.
Yes.
That they were kind of wrong, even if they're like killers or whatever.
Right.
That some like businessman, that some gardening company like captured a bunch of elves in a forest and went, sell them at Home Depot. We're gonna make a buck. Anyway, I mean, it's all a lie. We find
people are gonna want these next to their garden. These little guys.
These little guys, they'll destroy everything.
So they being good Christian children,
of course.
They are enlisted to help the lawn gnomes, and so they go to Lawn Lovely. And Paul, what happens?
So they tell them that there's 6 of their friends in the basement of Lawn Lovely, and that they have to break in, get them out, and then they never explain how they'll be released from the curse. I was expecting that to come maybe after the breakout. So they all jump into the basement, and what do they find? But 600 gnomes, not 6. And then Hap and Chip, the little mischievous scamps that they are, reveal, they fooled you. We just brought you here to torture you all night.
Yes. And they reveal themselves. They jump out wearing ghillie suits with their throwing machetes.
They throw throwing machetes at their bodies and trap them against the wall, perfectly thrown around their bodies to not harm them, but to trap their clothes against the wall.
I mean, I think it's important to point out, because I thought this was strange, was they go down there and all of the lawn gnomes are silent, unmoving until like Hap and Chip like clap their hands.
Yes, they're like little like ringmasters.
I guess. I don't know if that was the signal or just like they have power over them that the other ones. It's probably not worth to get into.
It could be though, Chad, because so the way that the kids get out of this is Buster shows up. In this whole book, Buster is licking the lawn gnomes, and whenever he licks them, our main character Joe sees on the gnome's face that his expression changes and he looks terrified. But throughout the book, Joe is calling Buster with his dog whistle. And it's silent to everyone but Buster. Obviously, it's a dog whistle. And he's been calling him. And in a nice bit of writing, Chad, I think we talk about this a lot. They actually pay off something they set up in the beginning of it, that he uses this dog whistle. So he's going to call Buster back to save them with the dog whistle from these 600 gnomes. When he goes to pull out the whistle and to blow it, the gnomes see the whistle and become terrified, and he realizes they're not afraid of Buster, they're afraid of the whistle, and then a ruckus breaks out. A melee breaks out within the basement.
There was a firefight, yes.
There was a firefight.
Well, they also point out, I think it's interesting the gnomes have been, there's a line that stopped me, that was, so the hundreds of gnomes all come to life, right? And Hap and Chip clap their hands for attention. They go, we have brought the young humans. We have kept our promise. Which means, that's scarier. I guess that just means the gnomes have been going there at night and like planning on how to particularly fuck up these like 3 kids. Not anyone else. Scary. Not like, let's kill the shopkeeper or anything. We're going to just bait these 3 kids.
Maybe they're going to use their childlike energy and they're going to siphon it off and torture them for eternity to power themselves to fight the rest of humanity. And then thus, Dom's truest wish for this book was actually very close to reality.
I mean, that's cooler than what they do. Yeah. That's cool. That's cooler than what they just... They're like, we're just kill you.
I think they land on tickling them, right? That's ultimately we're stretching them.
That part got weird. The tickling part got really weird.
Well, so that was a part where the writing was good up until they get into the basement. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but like their refrains kept using the same word over and over and over again, and I felt like that was a word count padding section of the book.
Yeah, that's pretty good call. And if we're skipping over the detail, it's now that the 3 kids, Moose and Mindy and whatever our main character's name was,
Joe
Joe are trapped. It's just like, you guys are stuck in here. We're not worried that the shopkeeper will hear us because we all know that she can't hear a thing.
Mhm.
And they're just arguing over what do we do with these kids. We should torture them in some fun way. And the first couple ideas are really weird. It's we should let's see if they bounce. And they go, yeah, dribbling contest, dribble. I guess.
I did really want to see the gnomes play basketball with these children.
Sure,
I was excited for
fold
that.
them up like in Space Jam into a basketball and slam them. The second
one of their options was to fold them.
Yeah, a folding contest is fucking terrifying. When he goes, fold them into tiny squares.
Yeah.
I love when we fold humans into squares, implying they've killed other humans. Yes.
Yeah, and probably the most violent part of this book is when Mindy is dragged out of the house by lawn gnomes, out of the house and downstairs.
It was it was very similar to the barking dog, where a child gets drugged by a dog.
drugged by a dog. Yeah, it's also very scary. So, like, these gnomes are very well capable of doing more physical torment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it did almost get to Saw Hellraiser.
But their third level is not Saw Hellraiser; it's Tickle, and they're like, yeah,
it's Tickle. Yes,
let's tickle them. Which makes it worse somehow. Like, I don't know, maybe just because it's like old men. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, lots of little old men with their stubby little old man fingers tickling.
That's perverted. That's perverted.
That's some fucking Amish punishment perversion right there, if I ever heard it.
But yeah, so the Buster, they blow the whistle. Not only does Buster scare them, but they also hate the whistle, and they're immobilized, and they are thwarted.
That's it. He blows the whistle and they're thwarted. That's it.
Well, I think think that detail is interesting too, because it's, I mean, as much as it can be interesting, it's they all, because you had pointed out, Paul, that when he blows the whistle, the dog comes over previously, and you see the gnomes frozen in horror, and you're supposed to think, oh, Buster's what's doing it. They're scared of Buster.
Yeah.
There's multiple chapters at this end now of Buster showing up and then not coming in, and then the whistle not working, and going, I guess Buster left us. Again, padding.
Yep.
And it's the whistle itself just kind of freezes them. It inexplicably paralyzes them.
Yeah, the sound for some reason is a magical totem to them.
Yeah, and they even then take like Happen Ship and stack them and climb over them to get out, as opposed to let's just open the door and also let the shopkeeper know she has evil gnomes.
Yeah, it's essentially it's like a video game. Like you freeze an enemy and then you jump on them as like a platform. That's what they did. I
was completely surprised that they thought like they were just assumed. Well, we froze them right now. They're fine. They're never coming back. We're totally good. Like they just leave them.
Well, in classic Goosebumps fashion, they leave the enemy behind. They think they've escaped, and they go home and they wake up the next morning only to find the gnomes are gone, and the father is sad because he thinks they were stolen. And then there's a replacement there, and it's a giant gorilla. It's a Donkey Kong.
It's a giant purple and brown gorilla.
It's a great
and he winks at our boy Joe. And that's it. We're done. We're out.
I actually really liked that. A gorilla winked at him. Maybe because I really like apes now. But,
you're really into a Donkey Kong phase.
I'm Donkey Kong, Planet of the Apes. You know,
you are big into apes right now.
I like apes, guys.
It's the most abstract lawn ornament I've ever heard of, and like a 8 foot tall.
It's giant
ape.
too. Yeah.
And I guess the implication is that this ape is going to abuse Joe physically and terribly.
Yes.
You know what? If it had been one of those inflatable apes that every car dealership used in the early 2000s,
yes,
I would get that.
They still use those here in LA with the individual inflatable teeth and the giant sunglasses and swimming trunks.
Oh, see, I thought whacking, waving arm inflatable tube man kind of like took over the Gorilla Man. I'm glad to hear the Gorilla Man still has some play.
The Gorilla's back, baby. He's back.
Good.
Inflatable lawn things will never go out of style, guys.
It's such a weird ending that it wasn't even the gnomes. They didn't even go, well, we got this one from Germany. It was just...
Right, it's just an ape.
It's just an ape, which made me almost wonder if his dad accidentally bought a living ape and not a statue of an ape.
I love that it's purple. It's purple.
It's a grape ape.
It's purple. All right, so what do you guys think, bumps wise? How many gnomes are you gonna give this bad boy?
I'm gonna give this one a couple abscess wounds, reverse bumps.
Reverse bumps.
Okay, so is that?
No, you know what? I know.
No,
I'm taking it back. I'm gonna give this one 2 bumps. I like the nostalgia. I think this captured a good feeling of being a kid in the 90s. You know what else I thought about during this? The kids in the beginning are just like bullshitting with each other and just like playing ping pong. And I think the world would be a lot better if kids were back to being bored and didn't have enough time and energy to fucking be assholes on the internet. That's the problem.
Too much Fortnite.
Yes.
Here's something, and I've been thinking about the way to package this, and Paul, you just put it on the T for me. I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Have it.
The world would be a lot better if we played a quarter of the video games that we played. Think about it. Think about it.
Think about it.
Okay, that's all I want to say.
Damn.
Just something to think about.
All right. Damn. I could try that. I think I'm going to give this about 350 out of 600 lawn gnomes. I think I came into this one a little bit higher because this was in the Goosebumps movie.
Yeah, they were.
I guess we picked this as one of the most iconic books, and it had changed in my mind over the last couple of years. This must be one of the better ones because they picked that. They went hard on the lawn gnomes. By the way, the size proportions of the lawn gnomes are way different in the book. They're 3 feet tall. They are real little people, not tiny little gizmos like in the movie.
Right. They're capable of dragging a child. I think
the stakes of children being assaulted and murdered by a bunch of creepy old men is one of the more terrifying things that R.L.'s ever written, whether he meant it to be that way or not.
That's damn ass true.
But the rest of it is like, I feel like a lot of these books would benefit from cutting out like about 10 chapters in the middle.
Yes.
And just getting to the terror stuff more. Like letting the monsters be monsters.
Exactly.
I'm going to give it 2 bumps as well. I have nothing to say in addition to that. It's just a 2-bump book. You know what I'm saying?
Let the rating stand for itself.
I'm not going to even say how many out of how many bumps. It's just 2.
It's just a nebulous 2.
2.
I think that's been a Goosebuds. Hey, if you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/Goosebuds, where we have access to bonus episodes we put out every month. We have a cool Discord with awesome people. We put out bonus content. Dom and Paul, you guys just dropped a special video episode, right?
We did. We just released from a couple months ago. Dom and I watched The Barking Ghost, and we released the track of us live watching it, so you can watch along with us.
Like they're right there, right in your room.
And if you'd like to see more of that in the Patreon, hey, tell us. Maybe we'll do it again. And, hey, we're going to give the people what they want. This is not Goosebumps. This is Goosebuds, okay?
Yes.
We like to get to the creamy center as fast as possible.
I like that, man. I like that a lot.
It's beautiful.
I'm talking hostess cakes. Hostess cakes.
Oh, it's beautiful. Bite in.
Give me your best hostess cake before you guys leave.
Okay. Let me think about it for a second. Let me pull up a list of hostess cakes.
I like the chocolate one with the Swiss.
I would say the
little,
chocolate with
Swiss
the white
rolls?
swirls
Swiss roll?
in the middle is like real. It reminds me of driving in the car with my dad.
Oh yeah. I like. I think I like ding dongs.
Ding dong is good.
That's a soundbite I went out on the internet. I think I like
ding dong. Dude,
where's our Clubhouse remix of I think I like ding dongs?
Yeah, let's hear it. Someone on our Patreon is talented enough to make a song out of me saying I like ding dongs. Please do it.
You can reach us. You know what we should do? And I'm just going to say this right now. We didn't talk about this. I'm just going to say it. Yeah. We need to do mailbag. We need to hear from listeners.
Let's do a mailbag.
Yeah. If you want to email us, Dom, who should they email?
You can reach us at goosebuds@gmail.com. Just send us maybe your thoughts or a question for us. We need to start doing mailbag, and we should probably start with a question to our audience. Maybe they could share stories in some way. But for now, just send us an email, say hello. I actually have to stop here. I'm being reminded because I'm sitting right next to it.
Yeah.
I got some mail. We put out my
physical
P.O.
mail
box.
Oh.
We put out my P.O. box on a recent episode, and somebody sent me. I don't know who, because they ordered from a book website.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and look. I'll try and find them. You keep talking.
But they sent me a collection of books. They sent me a Goosebumps book. I think it was Stay Out of the Water, or what? It's the cover where a skeleton is in a lake. Curse of Cold Lake, something like that. All I remember is that when I saw T. Jacobus at Zany Brainy in Doylestown. We drove to Doylestown to see the artist of the Goosebumps books on my birthday on Friday the 13th, I believe it was. And he that was like the latest cover that was coming out. So he had like a big blow up of it. And before I met the artist, a little bit of fear pee came out of me.
Oh.
I was a little kid,
Wait, what? You never told this story before?
I never told the story. We were waiting in line, and then I got a little nervous, Fear pee came out,
Wait, you really fear peed? I thought you were joking around. I thought you were goofing.
I was a little kid.
That's very sweet.
You get a little nervous, It was a little nervous pee. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's some guy. So like,
that's a big moment.
Jacobus, if you're listening, you met a little boy with a little bit of scare pee in his pants. You know what? Right. That should be the Goosebuds question. Email us with your stories of fear pee.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good prompt.
Tell us about your fear pees.
And fear pee is not. We all know what fear pee is. You don't pee your pants, but like a drop of pee comes out.
Yeah, it's a little ghost that eeps out. Kind of.
So tell us your fear pee stories. They also sent me an RL story that I might use for Paperback Paradise called Blind Date.
Okay.
And they also sent me a copy of an Are You Afraid of the Dark book, The Tale of the Sinister Statues, and inside were still the stickers. The cover glows in the dark, but it came with stickers.
Oh.
And I have an Are You Afraid of the Dark sticker, a Secret World of Alex Mack sticker.
Wow.
Dude.
And then 2 Nickelodeon logo stickers. One is a ribbon, and the other one was a dog bone. Which
that is cool.
If you guys want the Are You Afraid of the Dark, Alex Mack, or Nickelodeon ribbon, let me know, and I
might rock some Alex Mack. I'll be honest.
I'll hook you up.
I would take that Are You Afraid of the Dark sticker, baby.
All right, I'll mail it to you.
Yeah,
keep them both Nickelodeon ones.
Whoever that was.
Thanks for hooking that up. Reveal yourselves. Email us at goosebuds@gmail.com.
I remember seeing the post in the Patreon Discord, but I can't find who it was, and I don't want to just throw out a name because I don't know exactly who it was.
We'll find it later and give him love next time.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry because I definitely saw somebody talking about it, and I knew who it was, but I've lost it.
But
either way,
I got them, and I have to say thank you. So, if you would like to send me more things book related, if you have a book for Paperback Paradise or just a Goosebumps thing or just a adjacent 90s scary thing, don't send me rag dolls or dolls.
No dolls, please. No dolls.
No, send me those. Mark those for me because I would actually like to flip those on eBay.
Yeah, if you put for Chad really big, I'll definitely give it to
Chad.
him.
You're so enterprising.
You can send Goosebuds mail to P.O. Box 935, Montrose, California 91020, and you can address that to Paperback Paradise or me, Dom, or Dommy, whatever you want to do.
Dommy Gelato, maybe.
Dommy Pillows, Bobby Pillows, Dommy. That came a Dommy peace sign, whatever.
Yeah.
Mail us some stuff, and we'll talk about it. And if you include your name, we'll say it. So
awesome, guys. I think that's been a good Goosebuds. Yeah.
It was a good Goosebuds, a bad Goosebumps. Sorry, a 2.
A 2.
I just like the idea of you going as you're sorry to the thing you're reviewing. That's you, like the polite critic, going, "Sorry, Pet Cemetery, you got a 3."
Sorry,
you 2'd.
Until next time, guys.
Until next time, check us out on the web.
Butt on, babies.
Keep on butting, baby. Bye.
Bye-bye.
This episode of Goosebuds was brought to you by our beautiful Patreon supporters. You can become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/goosebuds, and we want to say thank you to Cale Clinton,
Cafe Miauchiato,
Stefan Jive Turkey Kuwabara,
Hollis Hornbeak,
Fred Atkins,
Nathan Dozal,
David Cron,
Chris Birch,
Dapio,
Nikki C,
Michael McDowell,
Clayton C,
Kyla Tharp,
Buddy Morrill,
Mike Lanterry,
Nick Hinkle,
Joshua P. Robertson,
Cameron Murphy Audio,
Daniel Callejas,
Jim Greaves,
French Onion Supine,
Jared Mason,
Martine Macias,
Zayden Keefe,
Natu Pearl Henderson,
Joshua Lopez,
The Rupel Production,
Jubs,
Christopher Boyce,
Af Sheen,
Mickle Hartscorn _
Dange Miss Dange.
Bean Father Spook Man.
He has grown.
Congratulations.
He has grown.
Congrats. Jonas Blotterman,
Jennifer Britton,
Stephen Ghost Kisser Daniels,
Victor.
Brandon Rowdenbush,
Aaron T. Strunk,
No cute name, just the Mentis, baby.
Chris Culver,
Brian Wells,
The Dragon Llama,
Zenticles,
Heath Robinson,
Drew Applegate,
Tedomancer,
Michael Knight,
Sleepy Boy 69,
Joe, remember to save early and often, Scott,
thanks Joe, Paul Grasso,
Walter Frazier,
Jean Keaty. He's got a fancy version of John now.
French,
Kramer,
Aaron, watching you sleep down cold. Oh, he got me.
Damn, he got you again. Taylor Dierks,
Becca McWilliams,
Stealth Bates,
Joseph Miranda,
Slumlord Onion,
Scott Colopy,
Robert Moon,
Alistair Perez,
Patrick Reynolds,
S.
Third Sergio,
Jason Crooker in Goosebuds patron,
Vincent Modica,
Trent Davis,
Luke Noodles,
Miguel Pardo,
Tammy,
Zambambino,
David Lee Pretty, aka DL Fine.
just a pretty good dog overall,
That's Buster right there.
Christina Doling,
Clay Kessel,
Connor Church,
Calf,
Cody Redfield.
Matt, Professor Hoops, the half-court goblin bachelor,
Cool.
Rende Hernandez,
Trendy Moron,
Tyler Penner,
Maddie,
Poyo Boyo.
Ishak Arafid.
Matthew More Paranoia Shop,
Oh, we got you, Chad. He got you.
me.
Ryan Melfi,
Gabe Chavez,
Reinfected,
The Puerto Rican Dream,
Snigginson Van Pickens,
Jake Young,
Alan Saylor,
Axel Rock,
Kyle Billings,
Sam Jizhash,
James Roy,
Mikey Jello,
Shifty Swamps,
Chosen One,
Gregory D. Warren,
Divaldi,
Jin K,
Bradford Coulter,
Jonas Engman,
Rich Hilborn,
Aiden Diaz,
Dylan Vaughn,
Toothless Barry the Whistler Bostowitz,
Eric England,
Nathan Remick,
Dan Henshaw,
Joshua Jacob Witz,
Justin Wagman,
Ryan Shell,
Matthew Literal,
Cree Bricky,
Leviathan,
Cardboard Walk,
the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation.
Tommy Super Shonen Breakfast Boy Double Scrapple Ultra Home Fries Hoey,
wow, Goblin Library,
Real quick, I just want to know: did we get in trouble for saying that the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation supports us? I love that someone.
No,
snuck
because
that.
they do.
You're right. They do. They
I
do.
mean, I'm just reading what they said.
Yep. I'm just following orders. Eric LeBaron,
Reed Stubendick,
Rug,
Andre Villanueva,
Up and Champ,
Joey Evans,
Alicia Grafe.
Nick V,
Piss Cool Guy,
That got me. Soleso,
James Hudson,
Anthony Kuwabara,
Molicious,
Carl Kleinasser,
Senpai Gods,
Carewise, Gamgee,
Brock Graham,
Yanni Markovina,
Hugh Bolin,
Joe,
Elusive Koala,
Jessica Zeibel.
Cameron Hansen,
Blake Alvarez,
It ain't easy being swaggy. YOLO Squire.
Get
Dig it.
Slinked, bitch.
Yeah. He said
Wow.
it. He said it.
He said it, jeez.
When Chad says it, you get it.
Paul's Christmas sock,
Christian Vanskiver.
Chase Neiman,
generally depressing.
Etenomore.
Boney,
Brooke X,
Boss Skeleton.
Corey Shelley,
Joe, the second one.
Hark and Killcat Rule 34 creator.
I'll see you in court. Jesus Christ,
Low Belly Hate Me,
Jeremy Lowe.
Zach Connor,
a Rocky Raccoon,
Yeah.
Pallet Town Champ,
Adam Norton,
Anxious Serve.
Avery Whitney,
Carter Glass,
Christopher Dunn,
Valhalla Black,
Mr. Funny Screen,
Bass Gerritsen.
Jackie Ledoux,
Foolish for Deborah,
Aren't we all? Dan.
Chris Pittman,
Jordan Lockwood.
Still in the ads.
Emma B. Drinking Blue Icy,
Ooh.
I love it.
Tasty.
I love it. It's the best one. Noah August.
Stephen Edwards. Hold on. Noah August. That's an awesome name. I hope that's your real name.
I love his young adult short fiction.
Sorry, I cut Stephen Edwards off. Stephen Edwards.
Soup Experimental,
Patreon donator, yo.
Joe Tierney.
and Ryan Stewart. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you,
And-
guys.
Have a wonderful time.
Enjoy yourselves.
Enjoy
Bye.
yourself. Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.